down to I've been sick because of sex. I have been hurt because of sex. I have been assaulted. I've been sexually assaulted. There have been so many things in this culture that I have been a part of in 40 years' time that I feel that brokenness that has been me for so many years that I haven't been able to speak to outside of a couch for 50 minutes, which I've paid somebody to do, which I find is incredibly valuable, but I feel like this is even better therapy. And actually, when I look at my the podcast spreadsheet for expenses, this is actually more expensive than going to a therapist.
So you'd rather just explain all your issues to me.
So congratulations, you are now my therapist, Jon.
Joy, gosh.
What does it mean when I have a dream about gooping all over? Ooh, dream interpretation. Sexual dream interpretation.
And see, that's another thing where I don't know if I can help you out on that. You mentioned hurt, assaulted, sick, because of sex. And I've been on the some on the receiving end. Again, I don't want to compare and contrast both of us, but I've been, my first and only, girlfriend, the first one, my ex, it was such a horrible relationship. It was really shitty. Yeah. And a lot of the times, guys are perceived as they're the ones who do a lot of the hurting. Not so much. From
a sexual perspective, you were hurt?
Yeah, from both. And it was
girls be bitches. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm telling you. But a lot of the culture, this is when we go back to the culture. The culture believes that men are the ones who always do a lot of the, what was that word you just used? What was that word? The assaulting. No.
Sexual assault?
No. Anyway, point is, in our culture, guys are seen as the bad guys.
Yep.
When it comes to the whole sex, women, like, they dump the girl after 3 days. If they don't have a very sexual relationship if they don't have sex, or they don't bang, they're out. With me, it was, I kept saying no to sex.
You weren't putting out.
I wasn't.
Yeah, so this like, for example, if it was our relationship right now, I'd be like, you're going to bang or I'm out.
And with me, I'm like, no, I'm waiting. And
And I respect that 100%.
One from a religious standpoint, because obviously as a Catholic Christian, we wait until marriage. We're supposed to. That's what we're taught. We're going to get into that later. But that's what I grew up with. And, me and my fiance technically haven't done it. Mom, if you're listening, and my grandparents, I love you if you're listening, and all my Catholic friends, if you're listening, please, this is the part where you just kind of turn down a little bit. This
is actually what we're calling the mom disclosure.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, you might want to hit, the skip button or put on some earmuffs right about now.
So if you're listening on iTunes or iHeartRadio or Spotify or any of that, any podcast platform, you see that little forward thing that says 15. Yeah, just hit that 4 times.
Yeah, because this is just too bare for you.
Yeah, so point... Well said.
Thank you.
So 2 bare moment here. Yeah, so... point is, I was told to wait, and I remember that being drilled into my head, and so I waited, and finally I just kind of gave up one night with my ex when she said, "Come on, let's just do it, come on." And I remember that moment when it wasn't rape. Obviously, I consented. I was like, yeah, it was more of a moment of like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, literally, let's do it. And that's how I had sex, and it wasn't at all fun. It wasn't. No. It wasn't. It was horrible.
That sounds horrible.
It was. It was forced, and yet I remember when we were quote unquote done. She said, "Don't worry, we'll have many more better experiences than this one." And I was like, oh, okay. And yet I remember, being 19, 20 years old, again, I forget how old I think I was 20, the naivety that I had, I think that's the word.
Naivete.
Thank you.
Yep,
that word.
And I love that word.
Thank you. That I had was, it is going to get better. And truthfully, I was craving it. I was seeking it, that it was going to be better, and it never was. I was trying to be fulfilled in it. I was trying to enjoy it. I was trying to love it. And yet I wasn't.
Well, so okay.
I don't know why. I wasn't.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
One, how old was she?
She was 6 months older. I was.
Okay, so same age.
Hold on. We were same age, but she was older. She was 7 months older.
6 months doesn't count.
Well,
I'm talking did you have a Mrs. Robinson experience? Because if so, you would have had a much better time.
Mrs. Robinson's like Simon and Garfunkel.
Hey, Mrs. Robinson. Yeah, it's Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay, cool.
Nicely done, 1992. And feel free, by the way, this is a caveat for our whole show. Please make sure that you fact check, because we are not doctors, we are not lawyers, we are not psychologists. We are barely a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So we're just a man and a woman coming together with some mics in front of our face with some cocktails next to us, and we are talking about some really good, yummy stuff. Some of this is going to be really fucking funny. Some of it's going to be tear-jerking. Some of it is going to be, I can't listen to this chick anymore because she says too many times.
Interesting.
Exactly. Or you're going to hear this fool across the way say interesting 3,000 times. Yep. So you're going to pick up some shenanigans from us. You're going to pick up, maybe you're going to pick up some toys because we're going to go over all kinds of marital aids and sex. I mean, there is just so much fun.
It's going to be a smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord? Ooh.
If you don't know what that word means, it just means a lot. I just like saying it. Smorgasbord.
I think everybody, including my dogs, know what smorgasbord means.
You mean Max and Bean? Oh, by the way, we have 2 dogs in here, Max and Bean. I think I'm going to convince you to get my pup, Dumbledore, in here.
Oh,
you heard him shake.
Max.
There he is.
Yep.
Dumbledore is mine and my fiance's little pup. He's at home right now chilling. I know last time I wanted to bring him over, and I know that Bean was having a little seizure going on.
Little Bean was having a health issue, and I didn't need any extra stress in her life. She's got epilepsy. We're not shaming you, Bean. However, she's fat, so I have been body shaming her lately, and that is not cool to do to men or women. Don't body shame anybody. I body shame my wiener dog, but her stomach looks like she just swallowed a fucking watermelon. And
but she's so cute.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
Point is, you're right. We have 2 dogs. We have our cocktails, and we're just chatting. We're just, you know what? This is where it starts, because literally we have these conversations every day about our culture, about whether, again, sex. I don't know HIV. If we talk about it, we're going to talk about it. But I don't know if you and your friends are like, hey, what's up, John? I want to talk about HIV today. Whoa, Jeffrey, HIV. Yeah, that's a no-go. I mean, we're going to talk about it here. But
sure. I mean, I have a friend that's HIV positive.
Oh, wow.
He's been a friend of mine since I was in high school with him. And I've actually lost a friend from it going from HIV to AIDS. And this was so many years ago, before we had the technology and the medications and the things that we've had forward progress from from a medical perspective. But I mean, there's so much to talk about. And I want to talk about all of it. And some of it's going to make your skin crawl a little bit, and John will get a little uncomfortable. And I'm actually a little uncomfortable, just so you know, John, and I haven't even actually voiced this to you. Oh. I'm actually a little uncomfortable talking about religion. So
interesting. Yeah, you never told me that, because I know you grew up in a very Christian family, household.
I did. My mom is a lovely woman. She is pretty much the sweetest, most never done anything bad in her life person, which is not a bad thing, but we're just very, very different from each other. Like, for example, my dad, if you're listening, you know the story before I even say it. The worst thing that my mom has ever done is put dirt in a mailbox when she was in college.
Whoa.
And I'm like, whoa, hold on 1 minute. Dirt in a mailbox? You don't say. So I've got dirt for your mailbox, okay? And it's not crustaceous earth. Is that even a word?
It's not organic.
It's not. Don't panic. It's not organic.
Don't panic, folks. It's not organic.
Actually,
but it's
panic.
Okay.
Panic. It's not organic.
There we go. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry for all.
No, so I came. Yeah. So I am uncomfortable talking about religion, mostly because I don't understand why. I don't understand masses of people all over this globe praying to different gods and different idols and all of this, and they are right no matter what, and then the other guys are right no matter what. People kill themselves. Think about our wars. I mean, so much of it is religious underscores based. I also don't love Bible verses being thrown at me in every email and every greeting card that's ever given to me by people that are crazy religious, or I don't like to use the word crazy, because there are crazies in every category, non-religious, religious, whatever, doesn't even matter. But I'm just totally turned off by it, because it doesn't bring me closer to becoming religious all it does is make me not want to have anything to do with it.
Isn't that crazy? A lot of us, and I say us because obviously I'm included, because if they consider themselves Christian, and a lot of them do.
You give me one birthday card with a Bible verse in it, you're fucking fired.
Yeah.
Let's just put that right down.
Let me just make a note of that.
Yeah.
So
Please, no religious cards whatsoever to Lyndsay Soprano.
I write fast. The point is no, I feel you, and I know I've been on the receiving end of that, and I don't know if I've actually done that, where I think maybe in high school when I was really into my faith, like crazy into my faith.
Well, you said receiving end. I mean, you're Catholic. What does that actually mean?
Well, thank
Sorry.
you. It's fine. Totally.
I mean, you leave it open.
When it comes down to the abuses and everything, like lately, like what's been affecting me when it's come to religion is that, is obviously the sexual abuse that is rampant.
Yes.
And in the church. And I've had every moment to where, I wanted to speak out on it so many times, and I've actually thought about leaving. Seriously, there's been 2 times in my life when I've thought about leaving the church. One,
oh really?
Yeah, 2 times.
Okay.
2 times. The first time was when I just felt like, for some reason in my life, I was like, this is pointless. Like, this is pointless. This is pointless living a struggling life of trying to be perfect as He calls us to be perfect. When I mean He is obviously Jesus. Yes, not Buddha, not Allah. Buddha. But the second time, and most recently, was with all the scandals. And I've heard everything from my friends say, don't be Judas and leave. It's not, the people. It's don't leave Jesus. Don't leave the core faith. Don't leave. Don't. And it's like, I hear all that. I hear it. And I understand. It's not the church. It's the people of the church. But it's hard when you realize that, wait, who started the church? Who continues to be in the church? And yeah, we can say Jesus started the Catholic Church or the Christian or whatever you want to say there. Point is who continues to this day runs the church. Now you can say my Christian friends, you can say, oh, well, the Spirit does. Yes, but the Spirit will only lead so much as the people want to be led. And that's where I realized maybe this isn't home anymore, because I'm tired of hypocrisy in the church, where my leader, Pope Francis, won't speak out on it. He'll speak out on it. He'll gloss
certainly
over
better
it.
than others.
Better than others. He'll sprinkle salt on it. But it sucks when your leader says, what do you do with this? It's like, well, you're the leader, bro. Said it again, bro. You're the leader, dude. You're the leader. Like, you are supposed to lead us. You are the shepherd. You're our shepherd. Lead us to what to do. Just, cardinals, you have to fix this. Bishops, you have to fix this. Dude, this is rampant. And again, we go, how does this all tie in? Sex.
Yep.
Sex is huge in our culture.
Yep.
That's where it ties in.
And religion. Clearly.
Sex is just huge. So this podcast, again, going back of why we're here, as much as uncomfortable as we both may be, whether it's religion, sex, politics, whatever it may be, sex is just the biggest thing. We're not going to get down and dirty. We're going to make innuendos, yes. We're going to have fun with it. But we're here because it is an almost bare podcast.
That's right.
It's almost bare. We're not giving you full-on neuroticy. Is that the word? Neuroticy?
Neuroticy?
Neurotic? Erotic. No. Erotic. No. What's that word? What's the erotic? What's that word where it's
I'm just going to let you go through this, because this is way more fun.
Okay. Neuroticy.
Why do I sound like a smoker? I don't even sound like that when I laugh.
Anyway, so that word. For those who are listening, you're probably like, oh my gosh, this kid. Point is we're getting almost bare with you.
We are.
Of we're presenting topics in our life that have touched us, hit us, and that are just daily, rampant. Recently we're going to talk about I want to talk about a reporter that was, in here based LA, that just unfortunately killed himself. We're not gonna. I don't want to get into the dirty details, because it is dirty in a sense. But I want to talk about it because it brings about a huge issue in our culture, in our sexual culture, of this secret life.
Yep.
And that's going to come on later in our episodes. We're going to talk about the secret life. We're going to talk about HIV, sex workers, and trafficking. I have a hard time with sex workers because religion. Again, a lot of this stuff is hard for me because I'm like, dang it, my religion is this approvable? Is this okay to talk about? But yet we have to talk about it. Like, why would we ignore the things that are really in our life? Like, we choose to ignore sex in our culture. Why? Why do certain people choose to ignore sex? Why is it so hard to talk? I'm just curious. Why is it so hard to talk about sex?
I mean, I know why it's hard for me to talk about sex.
Why? Why?
Because we feel like we're going to get judged. hands down. And you, from a religious standpoint, have to get that, because maybe this is just me being stupid with this question, but isn't that one of the reasons why you don't talk about it, because of your religion and because you judge?
Absolutely.
Potentially are judging other people. I know that I felt judged. I can't hear. Oh my God. I totally feel like I have been judged in my life, mostly by my mother. Mm-hmm. Mom disclosure. If you'd like to hit the skip button right about now,
again,
go
disclaimer,
for it.
if you're on the podcast app on iTunes,